It's March 13, 2019, and today's a new day in the pro wrestling world, but the problem is there's nothing really exciting for me to talk about, at least in the news sector. Now, I do a little bit more news than on this channel, so I like to talk about topics and certain things that have come up, and I want to talk about it. There's a major problem with Wrestlemania, and there's a major problem with WrestleMania 35. Now, before you guys leave a comment, talking your usual shit, leaving negative, trolling comments, I suggest that you guys watch this video entirely, because I think a lot of people will actually agree with this. And then I invite you guys to the channel, through the comment section or Twitter. You guys can follow me on Twitter at TangoWithTango. And I want to talk. I want to have an open dialogue, because WrestleMania for so many years has been a extravaganza. It's been so huge. It's been such a big part of wrestling history. And I experienced it last year. So it pains me to say this, but WrestleMania is too long of a show. And it's going to cause some major issues this year. There is some incredibly rumored matches that are set to take place at WrestleMania. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, which given 30 minutes could tell a wonderful story, can end up being a match of the night caliber. I mean, AJ, top guy from Impact, Randy Orton being the top guy from WWE, it gets no better than that. That was always one of my dream matchups for WrestleMania, and we're getting it. And within just one promo on SmackDown Live, they did enough to sell me on this match. So we get a match that's rumored like this, right? And then there's the rumored hair versus mask match for Andrade Cien Almas, who just goes by Andrade now. And that's Andrade versus Rey Mysterio. And then you get some rumored matches for the tag team champions and the Raw tag team championships. And then obviously you have, the Batista and Triple H. And then you get all these different incredible matchups. Don't forget, there's a rumored Finn Balor versus Undertaker matchup. Demon versus The Undertaker. My point that I'm getting at is WrestleMania is way too long of a show. And some of these matches are going to be underwhelming. And it may not be because of the match quality. It may not be because of the people that are in it. It may not be because of the agents producing the match. It may not even be WWE's fault in a sense of writing and booking and creative. The issue actually really comes from the fact that the show is so long that fans are so tired, and it's a big problem. Now, I went to WrestleMania last year in New Orleans, and it was a wonderful time. Between Progress, Evolve, NXT, Hall of Fame, Raw, SmackDown, WrestleMania, I was worn out. Every day there, I was watching wrestling. Now, this year I chose to do Double or Nothing instead of WrestleMania. For no other reason than I want to go to Las Vegas and have a good time in Las Vegas. WrestleMania in New York, New Jersey area, it just didn't sound too good, in my opinion, this year. So I chose Las Vegas. And I'm going to go to Double or Nothing with the hopes that I am not worn out. And more than likely I won't be, because Double or Nothing is not going to be 8 hours long. Now, being at WrestleMania last year, it was a good time. It was a really good time. And that's why this is a concern for me that WrestleMania is too long, because there's a lot of people that fly out from all over the world to WrestleMania to enjoy it. So I met some people from the UK, and they were telling me, if WrestleMania was only 2-3 hours long, all the matches that they want to see probably would not be given time, and obviously it wouldn't be worth it to them to fly from so far away to go and watch it, right? Now, I understand that argument, because, yeah, you want to go, you do want to have the best wrestling matches and dream matches all on one card. And obviously with WWE's roster size and all these dream matches and all these potential matches on the card, yeah, there's a lot, and you probably can't cram it into 3 hours. So I understand that argument, but I have a really hard time solving this problem. Now, it's not a problem for me to solve. That's WWE's responsibility. But at the same time, I'm trying to understand how we can fix this, because WrestleMania is a all-day event. Imagine sitting in the arena, not really being able to go use the restroom or even buy some snacks from the concession stands because of how busy and packed it is. If you've never been to a WrestleMania, the best thing I could tell you is imagine trying to take a shit for like 6 hours, but you're not able to. You got to hold it in because you're sitting in the middle seat, in the middle of the row. You don't want to get up and walk over people and walk to a concession stand, which, by the way, there's probably a good 30-minute wait. Oh, and meanwhile, while this is going on, there is an incredible match happening in the ring. So what do? You hold that shit in, and you keep watching, and then you wait till you get back to your hotel. But by the way, you also get stuck in traffic. Now, that was New Orleans, not New York, New Jersey, which I can assume, based on my experiences going to the New York, New Jersey area, I would say it's probably even 10 times worse. The problem with these long shows is you have some incredible matches that could potentially happen, and it's not WWE's fault. It's not booking or creative or anything like that, but having a show this long is underwhelming. AJ and Randy Orton should be given 25 to 30 minutes. Rey Mysterio and Andrade should be given 25 to 30 minutes. Batista and Triple H should be given 25 to 30 minutes. I know Undertaker can't go 25 to 30 minutes, but we don't want to see Finn Balor versus Undertaker in 6 minutes. We want to see something with a storyline, with some storytelling. It becomes underwhelming. And the problem is the product falls flat, not because creative. Again, I'm going to say that. It's not because of creative. It's not something that WWE is doing. The problem is because it's so long, fans are getting worn out. And part of that excitement of watching the show and knowing what's good is the response from the crowd. And if you don't believe me, go on social media when you're watching a 3-hour episode of Raw. People are complaining about 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. And I get it. WrestleMania, Raw, WrestleMania. There's a huge difference. I understand that, guys. I get that. But the idea that we watch Monday Night Raw and want to fast forward, it's not because we don't like what's happening. It's just way too long. And yeah, sometimes there's some bad stuff where it's kind of corny and you're like, yeah, just fast forward. With WrestleMania, you don't have that option. And with WrestleMania, it's so long and there's going to be some filler matches that you just don't want to watch. Or maybe you do want to watch it, but maybe you've been sitting there for 6 hours and you still got 2 or 3 hours left, and there's still more to watch. It's a huge problem with WrestleMania. Some people have suggested that WrestleMania could eventually become a 2-day event, which I think is ridiculous because it doesn't solve the problem of being worn out. Too much of it takes a toll on its fans. It takes a toll on social media. People do not want to... People like me who make videos, we do not want to sit here for 8 hours, 9 hours, with a kickoff show and watch-alongs and live streams and post shows and coverage and live tweeting. That's our job. We do that. And no, it's not a bad problem to have. We're lucky to be able to do stuff with YouTube and kind of have that opportunity. But it's way too long of a show for us to sit in one office chair with our laptops and our computers trying to cover this stuff. And again, I'm not complaining because I love it. It's not a problem for me. I just know that it's a problem that exists for a lot of people. If they're struggling with 3-hour episodes of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, they're going to struggle with a 8-hour show like WrestleMania. So I want to know what you guys think and what your solution is. Is this even a problem for you? That's the beauty of pro wrestling. Sometimes my opinions, and I see this in the comment section a lot, sometimes people think my opinions are wrong. You can't tell me I'm wrong. It's an opinion. If you disagree. That's totally cool. But that's the problem here. I love pro wrestling. I want to watch 10 hours of WrestleMania. I want to watch all of these matches. But the problem is there's so many matches. And even with 7 to 8 hour show, you still don't have time to give everybody the proper time that they need. Especially this year. You have a triple threat women's match. That match should be going on for 60 minutes. Becky, Ronda, Charlotte could tear the house down in the women's main event. the idea of John Cena versus Kurt Angle, I want to watch 45 minutes of that. I want to see more quality and not quantity. And I think that's an issue here with WrestleMania. I think it's a big problem that WrestleMania runs so long. But also at the same token, I'm excited for WrestleMania because WrestleMania is a good time to be a YouTube creator. You know, there's a lot of predictions and a lot of cool things that I do with the channel when it comes to WrestleMania. And obviously, I hope to produce some really cool stuff when WrestleMania comes. But it doesn't change the fact that it's a long show, and it doesn't change the fact that it may be very underwhelming, and it's going to be overwhelming too. There's going to be a problem with people who want to watch certain matches, and they're not going to be able to because there's a match falling flat because the crowd, you know, or the commentators are worn out. I mean, there's a variety of things that go into this, and I don't think I'm the only person that sees this as a problem. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. As always, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at Tango with Tango, and I'll see you guys next time.